Good day everyone, my name is Yi Hui and I will be presenting my Master's Semester 1 project Urban Tetris. Before I begin, I would like to take this opportunity to thank AR Ellis and Dr. Keith for their guidance throughout the project. The brief calls for a tropical high-rise dwelling in Jalan Raja Abdullah KL that caters for a minimum of 200 occupants with 1 car park per unit and 50% for visitors. The estimated GFA will be 10,000 square meters with a minimum height of 30.5 meters. So let's begin the presentation by introducing the site. The site is located at the edge of Kampung Baru, which is also called Hujung Pasir Village. As we zoom in closer into the microsite, you will notice that it is located right next to the Klang River. Public transits such as LRT and monorails are located near the site for convenient access. On the west side of the site, it mainly consists of a commercial district. Cafes and food street are located quite near the site too, with the Bukit Nanas Forest Reserve at the southeast side. Looking closer into the building site, you can see that it is a narrow and elongated site, which can be considered quite challenging to be able to harmoniously design for, with proper balance of the public realm as well as the residential requirements. The total land area of the whole site is 3,531.5 square meters. Moving on to the panoramic view of the site context, the site is surrounded by high-rise buildings, having a stark contrast in building proportion, thus making the site feel smaller and enclosed. Moreover, the development of the surrounding areas has further emphasized the lack of such for the selected site. Currently, the site consists of a stretch of terrace houses, some occupied and some vacant, and a large car park space located at the middle. As seen, the site is very contrasting with the surrounding context. Moving on to morphology, significant changes can be seen happening around Jalan Raja Abdullah from 1900s to 1950. The development was booming to be more commercialized. From 1990s to the 2000s, most of the kampung areas are replaced with high-rise commercial buildings, forcing the villagers to relocate. Malays are the largest population around Jalan Raja Abdullah, mainly located at the residential and commercial areas. The population of foreign workers are slowly increasing, alongside expansion of commercial activities. The youth and middle age take up a majority, with the elderly being at the lowest. The various activities that are carried out by both locals and visitors around the site illustrates the overall culture of Jalan Raja Abdullah. As can be seen, the main demographic group that can be observed are those that belong in the youth and working adult class, which falls under the younger age group, making them the choice for my target users. Around the site, the usage of space are largely accommodated with temporary structures. There is also a lack of green space and no dedicated spots for the community other than eateries. So the main idea here is to introduce the existing community and make them permanent by accommodating them in the residential dwelling to make a more sustainable community. Moving on, Urban Tetris functions as a public element emitting social significance and value beyond that of a normal residential high-rise dwelling, inspiring a sense of community back into the urban livelihood. The project was inspired by studying the following precedents. The first precedent is Habitat 67 by Safdie Architect, which I've analysed on the use of modular structures and spaces, as well as the orientation of units to get different views and terraces throughout the building. The interlocking forms connect walkways and the landscape terraces, achieving the goal of a private and natural environment within a residential high-rise typology. The staggering form of each unit from its neighbour provides each unit with its own private garden, allowing adequate natural light and fresh air into the units. The second precedent is Tree House by Studio Boda. The selection of this precedent was based on the analysis of a positive co-living community and the benefits it brings to the table. By providing various garden facilities throughout the building, it gives a positive impact to the occupants in a high-rise dwelling. The idea of Tree House is to coax users into a community by having decentralized facilities to initiate the co-living experience. I started my design approach by utilizing a 9x9 grid, which allows for maximum efficiency of car park. The units shall be comprised of multiples of 3 meters. Structural considerations as well as subtraction of units to create voids for additional unit spaces was considered. A staggering mass and further addition of voids for a visually lighter form was developed, taking into account of the placement of cores and unit types. Decentralized facilities and green decks are introduced to break up the mess and have relationship between co-living experience. Rooftop leisure promotes an active lifestyle while also fostering a healthy bond with the environment. Next is the axonometric view of the building, where the ground and the first floor are open to public and commercialized. The residential part starts at level 2. Decentralized facilities are located from level 5 to 8, with a rooftop leisure on the roof. Here is the ground floor drawing. Ingress and egress are direct from Jalan Raja Abdullah, so it doesn't disrupt traffic flow. The drop-off and lobby area are accessed through the internal road, which indirectly makes the building more pedestrian-friendly at the frontage. By keeping and integrating with the existing walkways, formal and informal pedestrian access are formed. This creates a more permeable pedestrian access while also allowing them to view into the building. As for the facilities provided on the ground floor, on the left consists of a weekend pasar or event space. The location of the pasar takes into account of the proximity of the pedestrian bridge and also the location of Kampung Baru. Along the internal road, warungs are introduced as to keep the local food culture flowing, accommodating the local community while retaining the essence of the site. An open seat area and play area are located on the far right end of the site, as the plane size is considerably larger, and also accommodate the targeted multi-generation family occupying the units above. This perspective of the lobby and drop-off shows how the roads are utilized and also how the pedestrian mingle around the site. Moving on to the first floor, the design of the cafe and facilities are in such a way that creates multiple openings, allowing cross-ventilation throughout the space. A city living room is provided for the community and their visitors to mingle and unwind from their daily routines. Next is the second floor, where the units are designed in such a way that creates multiple openings, allowing cross-ventilation throughout the space. This also helps to cool the units and the overall building mass. There are 3 main unit types in the typical floor, which are provided with their own shared communal space. As highlighted on the plan, the strategy used is unit to cluster to community. Learning from precedents, Treehouse by Studio Boda, this communal space will coax the occupants into a co-living community. Zooming into one of the communal spaces, the shared seating becomes a common area for the residents, which further spills into the green roof terrace that facilitates a soothing and comfortable environment. Different unit types are designed to cater for different user groups and sizes. For Type A, which is the studio unit, it is targeted for students and youths. The studio units are located on the left side of the plot because of its narrow width, thus making it more feasible to accommodate smaller unit types. The aforementioned pedestrian bridge is also located closer towards the location of this unit type, which aligns with the intention of facilitating movement of students. For Type B, which is the 1+1 bedroom unit, it is targeted for the working class adults or new families. The +1 room is a flexible room that can be transformed into a home office if needed. Type C is a 3-bedroom duplex unit integrated from a landed housing typology. Due to the demolition of the building that directly affects the families currently living on the site, this family type unit is to accommodate the existing community. A private garden is provided to cater for the home gardening activity that is favoured by the older generations. So, I am giving back to the existing community. Green roof and garden terraces are softscape on a higher plane, which can be used for chilling, relaxing, exercise, planting hobbies, and etc. Garden terraces are proposed as an offset to the issue of a lack of green infrastructure on site, while also creating a more sustainable environment. The rooftop is a space that is exclusive for the residents to carry out leisurely activities. The following perspective shows the utilization of the rooftop areas. The elevation shows the green facade surrounding the building. Green walls are used to soften up the cores. The whole idea of the elevation is to create a green sustainable building on site. Having much greenscape helps to filter fresh air into the building while also cooling internal spaces of the building. By staggering the mass and changing the orientation of the units while stacking them up, various voids are created as shown in the sectional perspective. This conveys the concept of an urban Tetris. The voids created are utilized as common spaces for the residents. To sum it up, the project is an urban Tetris that challenges the conventional residential high-rise typology. The idea of this design hopes to improve the current situation of Jalan Raja Abdullah by bringing in the youth and working adults to create a positive change in environment to ensure a sustainable social community and economy. Thank you.